Out of the money calls. And so that's my book, those are my positions, and I have no clue whether the bottom is in or not, but my charts, all I know is that I've got really, really good risk reward asymmetry here. This is the S&P, by the way. So that's it. You know, we're in an uptrend overall. I know we're in a short-term pullback here, but the market is in an uptrend. And we're at some really good rotational spots, lower extremes on some of the more lower and intermediate time frames. And so it's a spot that my process calls for me to have some risk on here, and that's what I've done.
Awesome. Christian, what are you thinking, man?
Hey, just a quick comment before I share my plan. Guys, and this is for the chat, guys, he's sharing his book, and let me tell you, it's sizable positions, okay? And you have to sort of appreciate that you have somebody with that kind of experience be able to put up like that, right? Not a lot of people in the content space in here are actually doing something like that, where you can put on big size, share the book, and if it's a loss, share that, right? But he knows that over 100 trades with that sort of structure, the big money is where it's at. And you know, that's just my flowers to you, my friend, because we don't see that a lot in really when everybody's trading, you know, these prop accounts, and that's totally normal. But real large sizing is really to be, and it's inspiring for me, and I would say maybe for all of you guys too.
Thanks, brother.
But and
but I'm short.
But
let me tell you how wrong you are and why.
That's the only nice thing I'll say to you this year.
Well, you saw me in the chat yesterday. I said Trolley Chris is my favorite Chris.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the 4 hour. Now, if I can quickly share here the daily. Whenever we finally break an uptrend, I should say the weekly. I touch a lot on the 9MA sort of, the 9MA moving average, because that's what I focus on. Whenever the 9MA trend ends, we move into the next moving resistance or support, which in this case will be the 20-week moving average. You can see that over time. Whenever the price gives up on this yellow moving average, we go where? To the 20 EMA on the weekly. That's the 100-day on the daily, and we're making our way there. So I think that we're still on our way there. That would be 24,200 in NQ, and then ES, it's around 20. It's around what is it? 65, 60 to 65.90. So based on that idea, and based that we're in a daily 9MA downtrend in,
yeah, that was you don't feel good, and that's something that you just have to come up. You have to come up with ways to kind of you know,
I get out of the position if it doesn't start to work out immediately, before it hits my stop loss.
Test. All right, let's do the shit. First things first. Opening up my DRC, daily report card. Does this work? Yes, it does. So, check economic calendar. Forex factory, it doesn't work because of Cloudflare. As far as I know, there's nothing there, no problem. Review market conditions, let me grab, well, let's review it first. So we have this distribution. Yesterday we pumped up overnight, failed above, went down, and then sold off hard. Overnight, this distribution right here, we're obviously below this one, but we are within this distribution that is formed back in a month ago. October 10th. Quite a big one. We poked below, went back, pulled below, went back. Poked below again, currently higher, but there is some lower highs action going on. So contextually, overnight we went down, up, down, up, down. Maybe something like that is the move here. We will see what happens. So on the CVA, we are below the recent value. We've entered another value area that's just below it, but we are forming lower highs. So I don't know. Obviously one scenario will be retest of 650s, 660s, 670s actually. Another scenario will be just a bounce to target 970s. And obviously another one, but no, doesn't matter. We will come to it when it's there. Only on the monthly we are below previous month's value. We are at -2. Bounced a couple of times. Definitely at an extreme, so shorting here will be a little awkward, I imagine. So, I don't know. Perhaps we can poke below, come back to -2 and rebid higher. 680s. 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 Oh, there is some confidence there. Between -2 and this level, 680s. So I'll mark it up. Seems 680s line in the sand right here. Oh, whoops, I'm not showing the right screen. Now on the weekly we are also imbalanced down. I imagine this is overnight retest of -1. We did tag -2 again, so we're likely going back to 820s. 820s could be a good spot for a reoffer on the weekly. 820s right here. Boom. So we have two lines here. Obviously we could wait for them to clear. Maybe something like that, or something, not showing the right thing. Boom, and then boom. So this is what I have in mind. On the higher time frame, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that, post it in my... So, CVA below most recent CVA inside of an old CVA. Bear sign. Number 2, monthly VWAP imbalance down. Below prior month's value, bear sign. Weekly VWAP also imbalance down. Way below prior week value, bear sign. However, is it established? On the weekly imbalance is established. Monthly imbalance, yeah, I guess so. So 820s reoffer on the week. 680s rebid on Market profile.
I objectively identify my edges.
Sorry, 650s. Let's call it 650s. On the market profile, and weekly view up -2. Market bias so far bearish. Need to keep that in mind. 24 650s is the support. Resistance 24 820s. Right. Daily goals. Boom boom. Why is it fucking up? Why it's not working? Yo, what the fuck happened? Okay. Let's keep these lines in mind. So I want to see maybe something like this or something like that. Fucking hell. Something like that. Wait, 680s. I wanted to move this right here. To move this right here. It is pretty choppy in this moment. These rotations are quite tight. All 60-point rotations. Intraday we're obviously lower at the lower end of value. Cumulative delta is in the minus overnight. Doesn't mean that it's gonna continue, because yesterday we shot up like crazy. I think this was it. And then we sold off, and then we pumped again, and then we sold off. So let's see. Oh yeah, let me retype this, my little ritual. Number 1, I am a pullback trader. I wait for the pullback to find entry. I wait for the hand to be shown. Do not try to catch a falling knife. I respect my 4R TLL and walk away once it's hit. It's been hit. Number 4, I take 10 minutes break. After every trade. Number 5, I walk away after 3 losses in a row. Boom, my mantra. All right. Okay, so I feel a little bearish. But the fact that we are at -2 prior value, can we go back to prior value 800? Continue pushing up, maybe. We are at an extreme. Yesterday, was this yesterday pump? And then a continuous sell-off. But then we have something like this at the moment.
Big sell.
It's a nice straight line. Something like that. Maybe we can break it. I don't know. I'll leave it on. Just for a visual. Uh, 653 offer would be nice also. But we'll see. I'm gonna wait for a sign. Oh, also I wanted to add find entry in a rhythm. Rhythm. Need to keep that in mind, very important. Quite a sell-off here on the delta. I mean, let's see what RTH brings, but yeah. Let's see what Merit says.
Get around that, just to blow through that area. And Chris, Chris, how do you feel about that? If you have a bad day, how do you shake it off?
Big buy.
I mean, for myself, I go to the gym. I try to do something physical to get me out of my mind. I feel like when we're stuck in our mind, you're just replaying that over and over and over and over again. I mean, obviously that's what depression is, but if you go out of your mind and into your physical, it helps you a lot. But also reviewing after you go through that, because you're no longer, that emotional attachment is probably not as strong as it was as if you would have just stayed there and just dwelled on it. And you can come back refreshed. You can take your time and actually audit yourself the way you need to, versus some emotional attachment sort of blocking you from really diving into it because of the pain that you might feel, right? If you can separate yourself from that and then go ahead and audit yourself, I think it's that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I once read something on that, Chris, and I feel like this is a truth for humanity, and I forget where it was, and I forget who said it or whatever. But
you didn't create it, that's for sure.
That's right. I created acceptance, but not this. The the concept is this like mind-body connection, where if between balance, like literally physically balancing, like doing some type of yoga pose, for example, or whatnot, which is I think the big application, you cannot hold at the same time strong upsetness in your mind and maintain balance. One of those two things has to go for the other one. And I just find that a really, really fascinating concept, which kind of touches upon getting out of your mind, focusing more on the body, the breath. You know, I'm not trying to sound like a yogi this morning, but these things are true.
I got a rescue pup. I throw the tennis ball too. That's my escape right there.
Nice.
Everyone needs a dog.
I picked up oil painting during my time in New York, during some stressful times, drawdowns, underperformance. I started taking some classes at the Art Students League of New York, started painting.
Chris, we got to have some good days in the market so we could buy some of Merit's oil paintings and hang them on the wall.
Yeah, yeah, I think he said he'll do the Ninja Trader special.
Okay, discount. Yeah, that would be a good giveaway. Oh, we got to talk about that, Merit. That's got to be a 2026 giveaway right there.
A Picasso of himself.
Anyway, so before I go, real quick, what are you guys thinking about the markets today? Let's start with you, Merit.
Ooh. I hate to say it publicly, Jim, but here we are. This is it. I'm loaded. I'm long. This is it. Here we are.
I never
I,
dollar
uh,
Oh,
cost
you think
average.
Lowe's in?
I do. Yeah. I have a combination of positions on. I have some tight stops against that 7 a.m. low. I have some where I'm not going to stop out until around
Big sell.
65.20s. Think of that as like some long-term, more tactical investment dollars. And I bought some out of the money calls.
NQ plus
And
one
so
touch.
those are my
NQ
that's my
minus
book,
one
those are my
touch.
positions,
NQ
and I have no
plus two
clue
touch.
whether the bottom is in or not, but my charts, all I know is that I've got really, really good risk reward asymmetry here. This is the S&P, by the way. So that's it. You know, we're in an uptrend overall. I know we're in a short-term pullback here, but the market is in an uptrend.
Claim that.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at it.
Feels heavy, but I'm also loaded to the gills long, so things are gonna feel threatening to me more than normal. So that's part of my internal dialogue, is telling myself to stay objective. But yeah, it looks like sellers are pressing pretty good.
Yeah, let's break. 15-minute wedge breakdown hourly. Attempting the wedge breakdown here.
Okay, gonna lower the volume of this. So a little push on the cumulative delta, sideways, sell off, went from 300 to minus 300, interesting.
Big buy.
Minus 2 on the RTH VWAP. POC shifted. Looking at the dome a little bit. Am I unmuted? Am I showing the right thing? Yes. Okay.
Big
A
sell.
little bit of a stall here. So far this is not very good for buyers, I would say. So we pumped up, sold off, pumped up to VWAP. Yesterday with that strong buying wasn't the case. Okay, some strong selling. I mean buying. Went down on cumulative, back up. That's a swing of 500. This is pretty strong, not gonna lie. Are we rotational? It's been 3 minutes into RTH. So it doesn't really matter.
Big buy.
120 casual 120 points pump.
Big buy.
We're building a node here. It's a bit of a
Big
low
buy.
volume node at 760s. If we are trending, we should be able to reoffer this, rebid this spot.
Big sell.
Here's the weekly -1 that got blown through. We've pushed through this little node higher. I am guessing -1 +1 could be a nice rebid opportunity.
Big buy.
820 is reacting so far for a rebid, but after such a strong move up, I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on the sells.
Big buy.
We're approaching cumulative neutral, and I have a button on the trigger. Watching delta. Oof. It's a bit of a deeper pullback than I thought it would be.
Big sell.
Here's VWAP, RTH VWAP. -40 cumulative. Seems like we are pumping up. The cumulative in 120. I'd like to buy here. Whoa, 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 what the fuck is going on? I don't understand this. Why it says I'm... Why does it say I'm... Huh? What the fuck? I don't like this selling actually. But what's... What the fuck? Oh yeah, okay, my data is delayed, that's why. Quotes are wildly inaccurate, it says. Rhythmic fields are wild. That's what I'm seeing in Lucid Discord. Okay, I think I'm gonna chill. I am going to chill. Rhythmic is having issues. I got away with it somehow. I'll take it.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think if we can't get through 66.75, then we can just so easily go to 66.20, 6600.
So the internal higher low is looking to break here in NQ. ES is still holding here, right in the middle of the range that we're in. So this is really where you pick your, I mean, if you want to pick your direction, right, higher or lower from right here, where we're perfectly balanced.
One little teaching point is, if you notice, a lot of my commentary is around not confirmation of my book, but threats to my book. And that's the way my psychology tends to work, or at least my developed psychology after many years of pain. It's important for you guys to understand where you tend to go to when you have a position on. Do you tend to ignore conflicting information, or do you tend to hyperfixate on anything that might scare you and cause you to maybe be too jumpy or scratch too many trades? Kind of understand your own tendencies, I think, is a really good thing for developing traders to start to understand. And I think it's journaling and whatnot in real time, and understanding your thoughts and your own patterns is how you get there.
The internal higher low here failed. Okay, your higher high, higher low, it failed. So now back to the bottom of the range. And if we can consolidate a bit or create a little acceptance micro here, then maybe that can give me a way to manage risk on the downside. But so far, a lot of back and forth. NQ's heavier.
I hate the fact that my position is public. I hate it so much. It makes me have all kinds of additional internal conflicts.
Take it easy on the day trading side then.
I am. I actually, I thought a minute ago, I was like, oh, I haven't even traded this day trade account.
Yeah, when I have larger swing size, I just stop trading this account and focus on that. All right, so NQ into this London low area, overnight low. Can we create a lower high here? And then set up a structure here to join. Might not give it.
Oh, wow.
You've certainly got the lower edge of this if you connect kind of a trend
So the
line
minus
off
one
of the lows
did
since the overnight lows.
rejected quite nicely.
To me, that's the main
800, we pumped up and sold off.
inflection.
You
point
don't
of
need to
this
know
market
what is
right
going
now.
to happen
So
next
whether
to make
that
money. Are you
cracks and
trading what
holds,
is? Are we imbalanced / trending or rotational? Is VWAP holding?
VWAP is not holding. It's been sliced through, so that's a sign of a rotational environment.
NQ,
We
minus
bought,
one touch.
We bought +2. Why am I always messing this up? We bought -2.
buy.
We sold +2. Traversed value, sold off to -2. And now we're buying it back up. Okay. Somehow I got away. So my feed was delayed. And I bought right here and I sold it right here. Wow. That's crazy.
Big buy.
So
Big sell. Big buy.
what's going on with Delta? Just went neutral. I mean, when you see this, I would say this definitely rotational. It's nice to see some levels being responsive. I guess I did not have the balls to reoffer this. Is Cloudflare resolved or no? A fix has been implemented and we believe the incident is now resolved. Okay, that was 6 minutes ago. Let's see.
All right, we're bouncing back up to create maybe another lower high. The Qs are so close to prior week low.
Interesting to see this level reacting. That's nice. -1 is now. So, is this a confirmed
I'll try short here,
established imbalance?
and I'll put my stop right
Am I
above this
muted?
candle, and I'll just be
No.
super tight with this. and see if we can drop up.
Anyways, I think I'm definitely gonna call it here. Because I had a good buy. I'm gonna remove all this trash. Don't feel like engaging anymore. We are in an established
sell.
imbalance on the week.
As soon as we couldn't
NQ, -2 touch.
bounce from here and started to come back into this region here, I came out of the majority of the shorter term stop
Okay.
position that I was in from here. Pretty much scratch on it. We'll stock re-entry.
Okay, let me
Like I was
go.
saying, this is the breakdown of the general. If you were to draw a trend line across the bottom of this, it's the breakdown of that bear flag. So the bears have it for now. Delta pressing lower.
All right, so I put this short on a little bit aggressive, and I have a tight stop here for. Let's see, what was my entry?
Okay, where's my journal?
Let's see, it's 639. Looking to see if we have continuation lower. We did have that change in structure that I highlighted. We have lower low, lower high, failed to reclaim it, and then we bounced a little bit, and I took a short on that bounce. But we're still, trying to flirt with these lows and possible bounce from here. If we can't bounce, then I think we can see a move lower, and this is an aggressive entry away from me to possibly participate in that initial breakdown
Okay.
instead of waiting for the wedge structure that I waited for. And
Big
I only
sell.
went with that idea because of the hourly wedge that's breaking. We can see a pretty fast move lower. That's down to 1 hour here. Let's see if we can get some off at 1.5
Big buy.
hour.
Trading dashboard.
Okay, I'm out half at 1.3 R.
Nice.
And I'll just look to write this and then see if we can go to that main.
So what
target
is this
before.
setup? I would say this is
And then while this sort of plays out here, my idea
Return
is, again, this
pullback.
is not really my directional short setup where I look for a wedge and then a breakdown because that will create a sustainable move lower. So this is my way to enter the initial breakdown. I took half off at 1.3 R.
Rhythmic
minus,
had an
the
issue
risk on this aggressive idea.
and
Wow,
the feed was delayed.
right, so this is,
Somehow I got away with it.
Big buy.
it works.
5
But I'm
points.
still going to be waiting for my directional setup here to put on more size and have a
TVA.
traditional trade.
Rotational.
Is someone talking? You guys not hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay,
Oh,
daily
that's
report cards.
Man, it's like a little too much. So look, guys, the ideal short for, on my aggressive side would have been this bounce here to create the lower high and then rejection. That's the aggressive sort of short that I look to take. But I waited a bit because, we still we're testing prior week low. But that's the ideal way to manage sort of aggressive trade like that for my approach. This is a 2-minute time frame. And then I'll leave the stop where it is. If it stops me out, I'll make, 0.3 R or no less than that. But again, I'm just waiting for my setup here, right?
Big buy. I understand the absolute necessity of these principles of consistent success and therefore never violate them.
The next target in this scenario plan that I shared with you
Big
guys,
sell.
let me show that again here. Here is the hourly, or let me go to the hourly trending, yes. But if you guys remember, we were consolidating in a wedge structure here, and we're breaking out of that. The bounce that we had in the morning was a failed breakout of this wedge, and now we're moving lower to target. So my next target in NQ is this 500 area. If we fail to bounce, then I do think we come down to that 24,200, which I highlighted was the weekly 20 EMA, the daily 100 EMA.
Trades.
We typically find support when the weekly 90 major ended. And
NQ, minus
all
2
we've
touch.
seen so far as the last week is a move lower towards
Minus
that
2
area.
touch, great.
So I want to align my intraday trades towards that main target.
This market's in a good spot.
Big sell.
What, a long or short?
Wow,
With
what
you,
a sell-off.
I do think we're gonna see that 24,200 or ES that 6590s, 6560, 6590s. I'll be looking to buy that with you.
What a sell-off on this. I think this is gonna turn soon, because look at that. It just went positive on the day.
Voice of an angel. I doubt it. Maybe it's all the ESL I took.
All right, I reloaded some. Just put some arrows on the chart today.
Can we go retest this level? Maybe I can even try a stab at it.
Big buy.
Big buy. Okay, watching. Should I? There's definitely someone on the bed. Is the feed correct? 58. Wait, 58. 51. Maybe. Am I catching a falling knife here? No, I said I'm done. So I'm not gonna try to catch the knife.
Stop
Or?
that. Second.
No.
What did you say, Chris?
I was talking to somebody in the chat.
So the DRC preparation marks. This is good. Mental game.
Slew of data in
Big sell.
So we have some maybe some 10 a.m. news in a bit.
Okay, these are some stops being run. Or what the hell is this? The book is very thin now.
Could you update here for us on the 4
No, I
hour
don't care. I will not take any
process?
trades. As a matter of fact,
Overnight
I'm gonna lock
consolidation
myself
would
out.
be a 4 hour
Disable trading for all
low
accounts.
or high. What we're seeing now is the continuation of that 4-hour 90-day downtrend. If you guys remember from my morning
So what did I
planning,
do well
I
today?
said I do not be
Good
bullish
pre-market
into
prep.
the 4-hour 90-day, and all this
A good
consolidation
read
was they
of
found
CVAs
created the lower high,
and
scenario, this green scenario,
long-term
and we're
VWAPs.
rejecting lower. So ideally, this is a strong
Execution,
continuation
yeah,
of this
not as good. Kinda got away with it.
because now we can down trend in, but the 4-hour trend is confirming everything so far.
Execution was subpar,
And what is left to do
but
now
got away with it
is a
due to
aggressive
slow
90-day
rhythmic
downward
feed.
When it ends, we want to see a wedge form, and then maybe that gives us a directional setup
Max
for that big
TLL 4R. Max 3Ls in a row. 10 minutes
NQ, minus two touch.
break after every trade. And what else? Wow, this is quite a sell-off. Good that I didn't participate. Or, I mean, if there was some retest of this area, it could be interesting, but
Something's going on with my swing account. I can't place a trade.
All right, so for me, guys, three short-term versions of my bullish thesis to be put on haven't worked out. Obviously, the sellers are in control of the tape. I had a little bit of an order flow signal for there momentarily to kind of pick some spots in this region, but now sellers are once again firmly in control of the tape. So
yeah,
I'll go
this
into
is
a
the
little bit
reason
more of a
why.
hands-off, well, a lot more of a hands-off mode here versus picking super short-term little
I think
momentum
Reoffer
shifts
could be
as
nice
I
here.
have been there,
Let's see if it plays out.
and wait for something more
This
substantial
is definitely
to get
trying to
some
catch
kind
a
of
knife.
confirmation, right there. You know, as much as I try to pick bottoms and tops and whatnot as a part of what I do, there is a reasonable cutoff point to that where you can't just keep trying the same thing over and over and over.
In this
And just
situation,
to clarify, there's only a handful of times each year where there's this much opportunity for me. Just to put it into context, this is not just a normal trading day for me. This is you know, maybe 5 days a year that are this good.
Big buy.
okay, I'm out more at 4R,
Let's go. Nice trade, man.
and I will just continue to trail the rest into 24,200s, which is my main target. But look, guys, in this moment, my aggressiveness paid out. There has been times on stream where I get a little bit aggressive and it doesn't play out, right? But again, and being aggressive when when you bend the rules after you know them for so long, over time, you guys don't see it because we don't stream every day, but over time, it's a big benefit to us. And if I wasn't aggressive, I would not be in a trade here because my directional setup is a wedge.
I
Right?
act on my
need a
edges
wedge
without
contraction
reservation
to allow me
or
to manage
hesitation.
risk on a directional move. So because I was aggressive today, I had a better understanding of the overall action, right? I did a walkthrough of this sort of range action and then the changing character here when we created a lower high. And then the fact that we were breaking an hourly wedge, so my aggressiveness was backed by an understanding of what was happening and you know, going back to the probabilities question or comment on what the probability was that we could continue lower. Or else I'd be in cash, right? And you have to be okay with missing a move if you don't have a way to manage risk. You can't just be entering back and forth. But I'll just sit in this for the rest of the day. Chris, where are we going for ES reversal?
Big buy.
I can see a ES
Big buy.
reversal at 65.93.
Big sell.
Wow.
Big buy.
6,600, 65.93, and we just hit what, 66.02?
Anyways, what was my other?
So maybe this we're in this 2-minute
Big
downtrend
sell.
now, lower low or high, lower low. Maybe it ends now and it creates a
Let me
wedge,
see.
which is great, right? I want price to bounce to give me another opportunity.
Big buy.
No,
Big buy.
a sell move. There you go, market reviews. Okay.
That was a good partial right there, right at the low of that before that bounce.
So now
Well,
this,
this is a
where
good
I'm
spot.
Super nervous. I
NQ.
stopped chasing
Minus
the
one
short-term
touch.
shifts, and so now I'm at the mercy, you know, of this thing just not going up. Oh, I'm focused. Don't you worry about me.
Don't you worry about him.
I mean, we went positive
Big
on the
buy.
day. That's kinda
Big sell.
crazy. We are above
Big
plus
buy.
one.
Big buy.
The
What you got,
buying
seller?
is super aggro.
Big buy.
I'm patient, guys. It's just, it's part of the strategy, right? It's not that I'm being, I mean, I am patient, I guess, but
Big sell.
the way I designed the strategy is to let the market do the heavy lifting and participate in trends. When I know day trading is not a lot of that. It's a lot of shorter moves. But I don't want to day trade. So if I
Yeah, what
find
Chris is saying is just, it's one of the biggest points that retail
Anyways,
traders need to
I'm
hear.
gonna
They
turn
think
it
that
off.
like
GG.
everything that you do as a trader is and always will be this game of like willpower, right? Like you want to do this bad thing, but you're telling yourself, oh, don't do this bad thing. And that's what good trading is. No, good trading becomes something much better than that, guys. You can rise above that. And it's based around developing a process and taking your licks in the market and getting beat up enough to understand, no, I understand what I want to do, and that's what I want to do, right? That's what Chris is saying. He doesn't have to be patient to trade his process.
yeah, I'm just trading it. All right, so this is our first big bounce. Let's see if we can now form a wedge. You have your swing low down here. We're bouncing now to seek a swing high. and then maybe we wedge up like this. And then from there, we have a more directional setup or idea. Unless we, I would say we can reclaim the breakdown at 640s for NQ and then 6640s for ES, then we know now, again, now there's a new change in character and buyers are buying this low here. But we do have divergences on the 4-hour, but I still think we can see lower.
There's the spot right there for the intraday downtrend. Nice
Yeah,
little up thrust wick through that little cluster on the S&P. Sellers responding. That's a good short.
Yeah, it looks like that was also the 5-minute 9MA for those who watch my process. So we're on the 5-minute, we've put in our low and lower high, which looks a little bit like this.
Why not take the short merit right there, right? That's a classic imbalance pullback like we walked through the pre-market when someone was asking about that. I am so focused on the big picture here today that, and I've made this mistake many, many times, where I get involved with the shorter term stuff. I get a little sucked in. I start to say, yeah, let me just kind of do this here and this there and make a little bit on some shorter term setup. The opportunity cost of that, for me, historically, has been too high. So while that is a short that I typically would be all over, for me, the context and what I'm trying to do today, I'm going to avoid opportunity cost, if that makes sense.
Big opportunity cost. Chris, if this wedge gives you what you would use as an entry short, would you add to your existing position? Sometimes I do add to my trades. And what I should be doing is looking at the swing account, but I can't make a trade in my swing account. I don't know why. I have to look into that.
Interactive?
Yes. What?
IB?
Yeah.
Maybe Cloudflare affecting them?
Maybe. But yeah, I do like to add, but I treat that as a separate thing. Oh, and speaking of this, what do you
Well,
feel
this is an
about,
exciting
let's say
day.
right now, I have this
Big
entry
sell.
at 639 in NQ. I add to it. What I typically do, and then, please correct me. I want to know what you think. If I do add on a trade,
I took another shot.
I will close the ad, and I'll keep my original position. But now my cost basis has moved. What I do is I keep my stop at the same place as
NQ,
if my
minus
entry
one
was
touch.
still above there, even though my cost basis is now moved lower significantly. What do you think about that?
I was unable to fully process everything you said as I was re-entering some trades there. So you're keeping a stop somewhere. Could you say it again?
Yeah, if I add to a trade, and now my cost basis went from my short today, let's say at 639 to 550s, and I close out my ad for profit, but now my cost basis, it remains at 550s. What I do is I keep my stop at the same place of the original trade, because to me that's where the invalidation takes place. And then the remaining of that trade will now show a negative loss up all the way up into that stop.
Well, that's just accounting. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you don't move your stop either.
Well, first off, the way so two things. When I add to trades, they have their own independent stop. That's how I do it. I try to time the ad actually as if it was a brand new position, and
I get it.
just kind of making
There is
sure
a
my
random
execution stuff
distribution
is ready to
between
go if I
wins
need
and
to
losses for
come
any
out of
given
some of
set of
this.
variables that define an edge.
So it has an independent stop. It's treated as its own kind of thing. And then secondly, in terms of accounting, and I'm a big fan of when and where you can do this. Most platforms don't let you do it, but LIFO, right? Last in, first out.
Yeah.
So what happens if you have LIFO is you get the ad and maybe you scale the ad and scratch the ad. That theoretical, that average position price that you're in, it goes back to those original entries, which is kind of
Yeah, I
the
love
way
that.
it should be in a sense, right?
I don't think IV does that. Let's see.
They'll do it for like tax purposes if you want. There's a setting, but they don't do it, I think, in platform for advertise. But it's in the settings for tax purposes.
Big sell.
All right, so we are forming a little micro wedge here, as you guys can see, and it's looking to break lower.
Big buy.
For both ES and NQ. And so we like that, right? So if you don't have a trade, I mean, I'm not telling you to buy or sell, not at all. But this is my setup where I would look to add. But I kind of want to stay in it and not add because I'd rather wait for a stronger consolidation, more time in a consolidation, which means I'll probably wait for a 5-minute one, and I'll just stay in this trade.
Big buy.